At exactly 3:07 a.m., someone knocked on my bedroom door. Not a normal knock either. 3 slow taps. Careful. Hesitant. I rolled over in bed, half asleep, staring at the glowing red numbers on my alarm clock while rain hammered against my apartment windows. Nobody came over this late. Nobody except one person. "Ethan," a soft voice whispered through the door. My chest tightened instantly. "Lena." I sat up so fast the blanket slid to the floor. "Lena? What are you doing here?" The door cracked open before I could answer myself. And there she was. Oversized gray hoodie. Bare legs. Wet hair from the rain. Mascara slightly smeared beneath tired eyes that looked like they hadn't slept in days. My best friend. The girl who'd been part of my life for almost 10 years. The girl I'd spent my entire adult life trying not to fall in love with. She stepped inside quietly and shut the door behind her like she was afraid the universe might hear her breathing. "You okay?" I asked immediately. She didn't answer. That scared me more than anything. Lena always answered. She sat at the edge of my bed, hands shaking slightly. I noticed she wasn't wearing her engagement ring. That hit me like ice water. Did something happen with Caleb? Still silence. Then finally, she looked at me. And I swear, I had never seen someone look so emotionally destroyed before. "I drove around for 2 hours before coming here," she whispered. Rain thundered outside. I could hear my own heartbeat. "Lena." Then she said the sentence that changed my life forever. "Do you ever think about us?" The room went completely still. Not metaphorically. Actually still. Like the world itself stopped moving. I stared at her, trying to understand whether I was dreaming or hallucinating or seconds away from ruining the only friendship that had ever mattered to me. She swallowed hard. "I need you to tell me the truth tonight." And suddenly, at 3 in the morning, with rain crashing against the windows and my best friend sitting on my bed looking heartbreakingly beautiful, everything I'd buried for years came back to life. I met Lena when we were 16. She transferred into my high school halfway through junior year wearing combat boots and a leather jacket like she already knew nobody there would understand her. Most people thought she was intimidating. I thought she looked lonely. By lunch period, she was sitting beside me in the cafeteria stealing fries off my tray like we'd known each other forever. "You always look this depressed?" she asked. "That's just my face." She laughed so hard milk almost came out of her nose. And somehow, that was it. After that, we became inseparable. Late-night drives. Movie marathons. Coffee shop conversations that lasted until sunrise. She was there when my dad left. I was there when her mother got sick. Every major moment of my life somehow included Lena standing beside me. Everyone thought we'd eventually date. We didn't. Not because I didn't want to. Because I wanted to too much. Loving Lena felt dangerous. Like stepping too close to the edge of something that could either save me or completely destroy me. Then Caleb entered the picture. Tall. Confident. Successful. The kind of guy who walked into a room already knowing people would like him. And honestly, he wasn't even a bad guy. That almost made it worse. I still remember the night Lena told me they were dating. We were sitting on the hood of my car overlooking the city skyline. "I think I really like him," she said carefully. I smiled like a professional liar. "That's good." But that night, I drove home with the radio off because every song suddenly sounded painful. 2 years later, Caleb proposed. And Lena said yes. I helped her move into their apartment 3 months after the engagement. Helped build their kitchen table. Helped hang framed photos of them smiling together. Every nail I hammered into those walls felt like burying my own feelings alive. But I did it anyway. Because loving someone sometimes means standing close enough to watch them choose someone else. And now, at 3 in the morning, that same woman sat on the edge of my bed looking at me like her entire world was collapsing. "Ethan," she whispered, voice trembling, "please say something." I opened my mouth. But nothing came out. Because the truth was, I had thought about us. Every single day. "I shouldn't have come here," Lena whispered suddenly. She stood up quickly like panic had finally caught up with her. "I'm sorry. Forget I said anything." "Lena." "No," she shook her head hard. "Seriously. This was stupid." She moved toward the door, but I grabbed her wrist gently before she could leave. The second I touched her, both of us froze. That had never happened before. Not like this. Not with this kind of electricity. Rain streaked down the windows behind her while her breathing turned uneven. "Talk to me," I said softly. Her eyes filled instantly. And then everything exploded out of her. "I don't know what I'm doing anymore, Ethan." Her voice cracked. "I'm getting married in 4 months, and I feel like I'm watching my own life happen from outside my body." I let go of her wrist slowly. "What happened tonight?" Lena laughed bitterly. "Caleb asked me about flower arrangements while I was literally crying." That didn't sound like Caleb. He probably didn't realize. "That's the problem," she snapped. "He never realizes." Silence filled the room. Then quieter, more broken, she whispered. "He loves the version of me that smiles all the time." Her eyes met mine. "But you," she swallowed painfully. "You notice when I'm pretending." God. That sentence nearly destroyed me. I looked away before my face betrayed everything. "You're emotional right now," I said carefully. "You're overwhelmed. Stop doing that." "Doing what?" "Acting like this is nothing." My chest tightened. Lena stepped closer slowly. "You know what's killing me?" she whispered. "I can't remember the last time I felt understood by the man I'm supposed to marry." I forced myself to stay calm. "That doesn't mean you don't love him. But what if loving someone isn't enough?" The room fell silent again. I could hear rainwater dripping from her hoodie onto my hardwood floor. Then she asked the question I'd spent years fearing. "If I had met Caleb after you," she hesitated, "would you have told me how you felt?" I closed my eyes. Because there it was. The line. The moment everything changes forever. And once crossed, there's no going back.
I should have lied. That's the terrifying part. One lie could have saved everything. But exhaustion has a way of ripping truth out of people. So instead, I looked directly at her and said, "Yes." Lena stopped breathing for a second. "So you did love me." Not past tense.
Did.
I laughed quietly, painfully. That's not exactly something that goes away. Her eyes shimmered immediately. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" "Because you looked happy." "That's your excuse?" It was enough for me. No, it wasn't. Her voice cracked again. "You just decided your feelings mattered less than everyone else's. That's not fair." "Fair?" She stared at me in disbelief. "Do you know how many nights I wondered why you never made a move?" I blinked. "What?" "You heard me." The room tilted slightly. Lena looked down at the floor, embarrassed now. "In college, there were moments I thought maybe you wanted to kiss me." Jesus Christ. "You dated 3 other guys," I muttered. "Because you never did anything." "That's because I was trying not to ruin our friendship. And maybe I was waiting for you to ruin it." The tension between us became unbearable. Years of hidden emotions suddenly crowded the room all at once. Every almost moment, every glance held too long, every goodbye hug that lasted an extra second. It all rushed back violently. Lena sat beside me again, closer this time. "So what now?" she whispered. I looked at her carefully. Rain reflected across her face in silver streaks from the streetlights outside. Beautiful, dangerous, heartbreaking. "You go home," I said quietly. Pain flashed across her expression instantly. "That's really what you want?"
No. God, no.
What I wanted was impossible. I wanted time to reverse. I wanted 16-year-old me to kiss her in the school parking lot before life complicated everything. I wanted her to not belong to somebody else. But instead, I forced myself to nod. "You're engaged, Lena." She stared at me for a long moment, then suddenly asked, "If I wasn't?" The air disappeared from my lungs. And before I could stop myself, I imagined it.
Us.
Really us. And that was the first truly dangerous mistake of the night. Lena eventually curled up beside me on top of the blankets while thunder rolled outside the apartment. Not touching, but close enough that I could feel her warmth. Neither of us spoke for a while. The silence between us wasn't awkward anymore. It was grieving. Grieving all the years we never said anything. You remember the lake house trip after graduation? She asked softly. I smiled faintly. You got drunk and tried to fight a raccoon. It was staring at me aggressively. It was eating chips. She laughed quietly.
God, that laugh.
I'd missed hearing it like this.
Real.
Not the polished version she used around Caleb lately. Then her smile faded again. You know what scares me? She whispered.
What?
I don't know if I've been making choices because they were right or because they were safe. I looked at her carefully. Lena stared at the ceiling. Caleb makes sense, she continued softly. Stable job, beautiful apartment, perfect future. But she turned toward me slowly. But you feel like home. That sentence hit harder than I was prepared for. I swallowed carefully. You can't say things like that to me.
Why?
Because you know exactly what it does to me. Her eyes softened instantly, and then she did something that nearly shattered my self-control completely. She reached over and held my hand. Simple, gentle, but intimate in a way kisses sometimes aren't. I think part of me has always loved you, she admitted quietly. My chest physically hurt hearing that. Not because it felt good, because it came too late. You should sleep, I whispered. Lena squeezed my hand tighter instead. I almost didn't marry him once. I looked at her sharply.
What?
3 months ago. Everything inside me froze. What stopped you? She gave me the saddest smile I'd ever seen. You looked happy without me. That destroyed me completely. Because the truth was, I hadn't been happy. I'd just gotten very good at pretending to. And somewhere between the rain, the silence, and 10 years of buried feelings, I realized neither of us had ever truly moved on from each other. We had simply learned how to survive around the absence. Until tonight. Tonight changed everything. At 4:42 a.m., Lena's phone lit up. Caleb calling. Neither of us moved. The phone buzzed again. And again. Finally, she answered. Hey, she said quietly. I looked away immediately, guilt crashing into me all at once. Even if nothing had technically happened, something absolutely had. Where are you? Caleb asked through the speaker loud enough for me to hear. Lena hesitated. At Ethan's. Long silence. Then, why? My stomach twisted. Lena looked at me helplessly before answering. I needed to think. Another silence. Then Caleb said something unexpected. Did you tell him? Lena froze. What? My heart started pounding. Caleb sighed heavily on the other end. Lena. The tone in his voice changed completely now. Tired. Defeated. How long were you planning to keep pretending? The room went still again. What are you talking about? She whispered. I'm talking about the fact that every time you talk about Ethan, your entire face changes. My chest tightened hard. Caleb continued quietly. I noticed years ago. Lena looked like she might cry. Caleb, I kept hoping eventually you'd love me the same way. That sentence hit like a knife. Not just because of Lena, because suddenly I saw Caleb differently too. Not as the obstacle, not as the villain, just another person trying desperately not to lose someone he loved. I do love you, Lena whispered. I know, he replied softly, but not the way you love him. Silence swallowed the room. Then Caleb said the one thing none of us expected. I think you already made your choice tonight. The call ended. Lena lowered the phone slowly, with shaking hands. And for the first time since she arrived, she truly looked terrified. Because now the fantasy was gone. No more hiding. No more ambiguity.
This was real now.
Painfully real. And neither of us knew what came next. Lena started crying quietly. Not dramatic sobbing. The kind that's somehow worse. Silent tears. Shaking shoulders. Total emotional collapse. I'm a horrible person, she whispered. You're not. I emotionally cheated on someone who loved me. You were confused. No, she shook her head. I was scared. I sat beside her carefully. You need to figure out what you actually want. She laughed bitterly through tears. That's obvious now, isn't it? No, I said immediately. She looked up at me, confused, and I forced myself to say the hardest thing I'd ever said. Don't choose me just because things with Caleb are broken. Pain crossed her face instantly. That's not what this is. You sure? Yes. You're emotional, exhausted, guilty. I love you, she suddenly shouted. The room went dead silent afterward. Her own words seemed to shock her, but once they existed, neither of us could take them back. Lena covered her mouth while tears streamed down her face. I didn't mean to say it like that, but I barely heard her, because my entire world had narrowed to those 3 words. I love you. After 10 years. After all the mischances. After watching her almost become someone else's wife. I should have been happy. Instead, I felt terrified. Because love sounds beautiful until it demands something irreversible. You need time, I whispered. I've had 10 years, and tonight changes people. She stepped closer desperately. Why are you fighting this? Because I knew what happens when reality arrives after fantasy. Because real relationships aren't built from longing alone. Because if this exploded, we wouldn't just lose romance. We'd lose each other entirely. But before I could answer, Lena suddenly kissed me, and every defense I had left disappeared instantly. The kiss lasted maybe 5 seconds, maybe forever. I honestly couldn't tell. Years of restraint collapsed all at once. Her hands trembled against my chest while rain battered the windows like the world itself was panicking with us. Then suddenly, I pulled away. Lena looked stunned. Why did you stop? Because the kiss wasn't the problem. The timing was. I rested my forehead against hers, breathing hard. Because if we do this now, I whispered, I need to know it's real tomorrow too. Her eyes filled again immediately. It is. You don't know that yet. Yes, I do. No, I said gently. Right now you're standing in the middle of heartbreak, confusion, guilt, and history. I stepped back carefully, and I refused to become your escape route. The pain on her face nearly broke me. You think I came here because I'm lonely? I think you came here because you trust me. That's not the same thing. Maybe not. Lena stared at me for a long moment, then finally whispered, You really love me that much? I laughed painfully. Enough to risk losing you. Tears rolled down her cheeks again. Outside, dawn slowly began bleeding into the sky. Blue morning light replaced the darkness inch by inch. And somehow that felt symbolic, like reality returning. Lena wiped her face slowly. So what happens now? I took a shaky breath. You go home. She looked devastated. But this time, I continued softly, you figure out what you want without me influencing it. And if I come back, my heart nearly stopped. I looked directly at her. Then come back because you chose me, not because you were afraid of losing something else. Silence. Then finally, Lena nodded and walked toward the door. But before leaving, she turned around one last time and whispered the sentence I would replay in my head for the rest of my life. You were never almost for me, Ethan. Then she disappeared into the morning rain. 3 months passed. No calls. No late-night visits. No messages. At first, it felt unbearable. Then it just felt empty. I heard through mutual friends that the wedding was canceled. Caleb moved to Chicago shortly after. And Lena? Nobody seemed to know. Part of me wondered if I'd made the biggest mistake of my life, letting her walk away that morning. Maybe love is supposed to be reckless. Maybe I should have chased her. Maybe fear cost me everything. Then one October evening, someone knocked on my apartment door. 3 slow taps. My heart stopped instantly. I opened it, and there she was.
Lena.
But different somehow.
Calmer. Clearer.
No engagement ring. No panic in her eyes. Just honesty. I spent 3 months figuring out whether I loved you, she said softly. I couldn't breathe, and a tiny smile appeared on her face. Then she handed me something, a folded plane ticket. I looked down at it, confused. One-way ticket to Seattle? I asked. She nodded. I got offered a photography job there. That's amazing. It is. Silence stretched between us. Then quietly, nervously, she added, I leave tomorrow. My stomach dropped. But before disappointment could fully hit me, she stepped closer. I came to ask if you want to come with me. Everything inside me froze. You'd leave your whole life behind? Her eyes locked onto mine. You were my whole life before I realized it.
God.
After everything, that was the line that finally broke me. I pulled her into my arms, and she started laughing through tears while holding on to me, like she never wanted to let go again. Outside, rain began falling softly against the city again. Just like that night. Except this time, nothing felt tragic anymore. Sometimes love doesn't arrive at the right time. Sometimes it waits until 2 people are finally brave enough to choose each other completely. And at 3 a.m., on the night everything almost fell apart, maybe that's exactly what we started doing.